Thank you for purchasing an ESCO institutional sign. We've taken great pride in crafting your custom sign using the finest of raw materials, skilled craftspeople, and proven manufacturing processes. ESCO's specialized quality control procedures, along with our careful crating and shipping methods, guarantee the performance of your ESCO sign. This video was created to ensure the success of each sign by providing instructions for both a proper and streamlined installation. With this simple 10-step process, installation can be easy, and your sign will perform for years to come. If you have any questions throughout the process, please contact your sign representative for assistance. Preparing for your sign installation is essential to ensuring that your project goes smoothly. By design, your installation will go efficiently if all parties understand their assigned responsibilities. Have your entire sign crew watch this video. This will enable your installation crew to visualize the process step by step. Having seen an installation will minimize confusion and provide confidence and consistency in the process for successful results. The sign location is critical to the performance of your new sign. A couple of weeks before your sign arrives, begin carefully selecting where you want your sign to be placed. Your local zoning area may restrict where signs can be located, so be sure to follow your local zoning laws for the final location. A good way to decide on your sign's placement is to make a mock sign from cardboard and test it at different locations on your property. Be sure your sign location is near an adequate power source and free of trees, sprinkler systems, and other obstacles. Roots, bedrock, sprinkler lines, and overhanging branches can make your installation more difficult. Once you decide on a location, double-check the spot for utility lines and zoning restrictions. Prior to digging, contact your local One Call Before You Dig service to verify your proposed sign placement will not interfere with any utility lines. Save your confirmation number for future reference. Your installation supervisor will be provided an installation kit specific to your sign. This kit is designed to arrive 2 to 3 weeks prior to your sign's delivery. This kit includes complete installation instructions, a foundation detail specific to your series model dimensions, a mounting pattern or template showing the precise location and orientation of your sign's anchor bolts. If ordered as a part of your sign, your kit will also include the anchor bolts with nuts and washers used to secure and level the sign to the foundation, a vandal cover key if your sign includes a vandal cover for a changeable message area, and a copy of this 10-step checklist to help you plan, prepare, and complete your sign installation. To reduce labor and increase your efficiency during the installation, you may wish to rent a small backhoe with a forklift attachment to excavate the hole and unload the sign. Due to the quality construction of ESCO signs, keep in mind that the sign itself may weigh over 500 pounds, so be sure you have enough helpers on hand. Tools you will need on hand for completing your foundation include a hammer, shovels, a level 2 or 4 foot, a drill with a bit specific to the measurement provided on your foundation detail template, an adjustable crescent wrench, a tape measure, a wheelbarrow, a carpenter's square, a can of brightly colored spray paint, concrete finishing tools, wire cutting pliers, and a hand saw. You will also need the following materials, all readily available from your local home improvement store. Wooden stakes to secure your foundation form in place. Pre-cut rebar to provide strength to your foundation. Nails or screws to mark the position of the anchor bolts on the template. Electrical conduit, 2x4s. A wooden plank or piece of plywood to create your anchor bolt assembly. Wire ties, duct tape, and shims. For more specific information, refer to your foundation detail. Arrange with your local concrete supplier to deliver the concrete for your foundation the same day of excavation. The cubic yardage and specifications needed provided on the foundation detail specific to your sign model. This is also a good time to arrange for a licensed electrician to trench in the electrical supply wires and do the final power hookup on the day the sign is installed. Planning ahead will ensure your sign installation goes smoothly. Once you have fully prepared for your installation, you're ready to begin building your sign foundation. Using the foundation detail provided in your installation kit, build a wooden form from the 2x4s and place it at the selected hole location. At your sign location, find the desired center point for the sign. Lower your form over your center point. Remeasure at this time to ensure your sign will be far enough away from trees, sidewalks, and other concerns. Be sure that your foundation form is placed at the proper angle to any location, such as a road or driveway with which you would have it aligned. After verifying that the location is within zoning standards and meets your satisfaction, mark the hole with spray paint on the ground on the inside of your foundation form. Take time to use a string line and ensure that the form is square. Remove the wooden form and dig to the depth specified in your foundation detail instructions. Be sure to dig to the outside of the sprayed line for proper length and width. Depending on the size of your sign model and the local soil conditions, you may find that a small backhoe will save you a lot of time and effort in digging your hole. As long as the minimum length, width, and depth are achieved, it is not necessary to keep the sides perfectly even. However, if you overdig, you may need more concrete than specified on your foundation instructions. Periodically, you should stop and measure the hole to make sure the proper width and depth is reached. When desired depth is achieved, have a worker smooth out the bottom of the hole and remove any extra debris. If you dig too deeply, allow for extra concrete to fill in the excess. Do not backfill with loose dirt, as this can cause the sign to settle over time. ESCO signs have withstood hurricane-force winds of more than 120 miles per hour. By taking this extra care in pouring and preparing your foundation, your sign will stand up to the extreme weather conditions in your area. Use a stake or a piece of rebar to knock a hole in the wall of the excavation about 18 inches from the top lip on the end closest to your power source. Dig approximately 6 inches into the wall of the hole. This small hole will house one end of the electrical conduit and will be inserted later. Next, replace the form over the hole and place wooden stakes at each corner. Using the level, make sure your form is sitting in a level position on all sides. Once it is level, nail or screw the form to the stakes to stabilize it. You're now ready to build the anchor bolt assembly that will secure your sign to the foundation. To save time, this step can be done by one worker while other workers are digging the foundation hole. Take the paper mounting template from the installation kit and tape it to the plank as indicated on your instruction sheet. Using a nail, mark the X marks printed on the template onto the plank to show the exact location and spacing for your sign's anchor bolts. Be sure you mark the additional hole indicated for the sign's electrical conduit. Remove the paper template and set aside for further reference if needed. Drill the holes in the locations you just marked with your nail. Next, thread a nut onto each of the anchor bolts and add a washer. Be sure you thread each nut down so that at least 3 1/2 inches will protrude above the concrete. This is very important, for failing to meet these measurements may leave you with an insufficient length of anchor bolt remaining above grade for securing the sign during the installation. Now the anchor bolts are inserted up through the plank template. After the top washer and nuts are added, screw them down tightly with an adjustable wrench. Turn the assembly over following your foundation detail instructions. Fasten the rebar to the anchor bolts using wire ties. You will be building a steel structure that looks like a cage, and this structure adds a great deal of strength to the concrete foundation. Insert the conduit through its hole in the template, taping the ends closed to prevent debris from becoming packed in the conduit. Wrap the anchor bolts with duct tape. Completely cover the threads, nuts, and washers to prevent concrete from fouling the threads. Finally, place your anchor bolt assembly in the hole with the conduit end closest to the power source. Add a shim between your plank and the foundation form to lift the lower nuts out of the concrete that will be poured. Be sure that your anchor bolts are plumb and level. Insert the lower end of your electrical conduit in the hole you dug previously in the side of the foundation excavation. Pack soil tightly around the conduit to prevent concrete from encasing it. You are now ready to pour concrete into the foundation hole. When pouring, be sure to take care not to move the foundation form or anchor bolt assembly. Using a shovel, distribute the cement evenly around the anchor bolts and rebar. This will prevent air pockets and create an even fill. Tap the wooden frame around its edges to release any air pockets. You may wish to smooth your concrete under the template for a more finished look. However, do not remove the wooden plank template until the concrete has cured. The concrete foundation now needs to cure. Allow 3 to 5 days for it to fully harden. During that time, you should keep the area marked off with caution tape or another barrier to keep people and animals away from drying concrete. The day your sign is delivered is an exciting day for everyone involved. Be sure that you have enough people to unload the sign from the delivery truck. In the case of exceptionally large signs, you may want to arrange for a forklift to assist with the unloading. Inspect the sign carefully before signing the delivery receipt. In the unlikely event that the sign is damaged, mark it clearly on your delivery receipt and call your sign representative. If the damage is excessive, refuse shipment so that the sign may be returned to ESCO for repair or replacement as soon as possible. Your ESCO sign is well protected from damage in its shipping crate. Even so, take care in uncrating the sign to avoid scratching the paint with a hammer or other tool. However, if you do scratch the paint, matched touch-up paint is included with your crated sign for your convenience. Depending on the model of sign you have purchased, your sign may arrive in multiple crates. Most signs will arrive pre-assembled. However, for signs which arrive in multiple crates, assembly is easy. This sign arrived in 2 pieces and is easily assembled. If your sign needs to be assembled, follow the instructions provided in your installation kit. Your sign may consist of legs, 1 or 2 sign cabinets, and decorative trim depending on your model. All of the bolt holes will be pre-drilled and the appropriate bolts will be provided in the crate that your sign arrives in. If your sign has multiple parts, install the sign components in order from the bottom to the top of the sign. Install all decorative trim last, as it is the lightest part of the sign and the easiest to move on its own. Your sign is now ready to be placed on the prepared foundation. Remove protected duct tape and plank from the anchor bolts. Measure one last time to ensure your nuts are threaded at the distance from the end of the bolts specified in your installation instructions. With enough manpower, your ESCO sign can be placed on its anchor bolts by hand. Remember, your sign may weigh 500 pounds or more, so be sure you have enough people for the job. For most sign models, 4 people is sufficient, but your sign representative will be able to advise you about your specific model's weight. For ease of installation, you may decide that mechanical assistance meets your needs better. A forklift or small crane can be used to lift your sign into place by using straps around the main cabinet of your sign. With your careful preparation, your new sign will slide easily onto the anchor bolts in the concrete foundation. Make sure your sign is properly oriented so the electrical connections match up. Thread the washers and nuts onto the anchor bolts and hand tighten. Using the nuts under the base plate, level the sign front to back and left to right. Once the sign is level, firmly tighten the top nuts, add locking nuts, and tighten securely. Open the access panel at the bottom of the sign leg and feed through the electrical wiring. Using the touch-up paint provided, cover any minor scratches that may have occurred during the tightening process. A licensed electrician will do the final part of your sign installation. If you have arranged for an electrician to arrive on the same day, you can be sure your sign will be illuminated by nightfall. With this, your sign installation is complete. We would like to thank you again for your purchase of an ESCO sign, and know that you will enjoy it for many years to come. If you have any questions about the content of this video, feel free to contact your ESCO sign representative.